Hey everybody, it's Bob again, and today I'm going to be talking about the Savage Sword of Conan. I was always a huge Conan fan. Again, I'm a big fan of fantasy, adventure, sword, sorcery, epics, things of that nature. My father was a huge reader, and on our second floor, we had a long hallway connecting the back bedroom with the front bedroom of the house. And along the wall of that hallway, we would have these books stacked about 20 high. It was like this massive library just going down this hallway. And in that hallway, we had the Robert E. Howard Conan novels with the Frank Frazetta covers and everything. And of course, you see a Frazetta and you're just like, holy shit, what is this, right? You need to look at it closer or whatever. And I'm like, oh man. And then again, as a kid, like being a huge Arnold fan, we had seen Conan the Barbarian, which is one of my favorite movies. I will never get tired of watching that. I even watch Conan the Destroyer. We're never going to get Conan the King, no matter how much they had ever teased that. Instead, we were just going to get an incredibly shitty reboot starring Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, unfortunately. That movie should have been better, but I never even got to watch the whole thing. I ended up turning it off halfway through. But this is just an amazing collection here of this. They've redone this. Like, I have another Conan book collection that I think was newer. Something that just came out within the past, like, 10 years. Possibly from, like, Dark Horse or IDW. And they did the Frost Giant's daughter, and they did not do it as well as this. So what we're getting here is we have Barry Windsor Smith here on his Conan run, where the artwork was just amazing. I love it. This is so much better than what I got in that other book. The other book, it has beautiful digital coloring and stuff. Look at that. That's fucking awesome. I needed to point that out before I go any further. Big fan of Barry Windsor Smith. I think this is what, made him famous. And then we can see the, where Dave Sim was getting his art style from. Because he was really, really trying to be a Barry Windsor Smith when he started. Just in the same way that I was trying to be a Todd McFarlane. Is you want to emulate, your heroes and stuff and the people that you like best. And, his artwork evolved to something that, you can look at it and say it's Dave Sim. And I believe that my artwork came to that as well. Even though I've had a few people knock me for having, what is it called? Something syndrome, imposter syndrome, or something like that. So, this is gorgeous. We even have these ads in here or, covers for whatever. Look at that. That is just a fucking, we all know the red nails thing here. Roy Thomas was great at writing these stories. I'm going to have to read this again. The artwork is insane. Look at the leaves. Look at the leaves. Look at the detail in the background here, the inking and everything that's going on here. You can see why this person just became famous for their artwork and was, one of the greatest Conan artists of all time. The creatures and everything that they have here. This is an amazing story. But then as we continue on, it's going to change. We're going to go away from Barry Windsor Smith, and we're going to get to John Buscema, like right here. Okay, come on. That is just fucking amazing to look at, okay? Actually, this is Gil Kane. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. This is Gil Kane, and looking at this picture, I can tell you right now that was probably inked by Neil Adams right there. I can see it. I was going to say I saw the, Neil Adams influence in this. This is insanely gorgeous artwork. Look at all of that. That is just, I think when people can't draw this well, they tend to come up with their own style so that you don't look at it for having like a lack of realism. That's at least, what I did when I was a kid. I would try to draw the most realistic stuff imaginable. And then when I wouldn't pull it off that well, then it was, look at this. Neil Adams pinup right here, right? I will say this again. I had somebody leave a comment telling me that that he wasn't the best. He is the best. It was flat out. It is what it is. Okay. If you're gonna look at a Neil Adams page, the artwork is going to be fucking insane. Okay. Back to some more Barry Windsor Smith, and again, look at this. Like the costume that he gave Conan here, with all of these frills hanging off and everything, right? Like when you do that as an artist, you now have to draw it in every panel, okay? And you know, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 8 panels on this page, so he had to do that for each one. Like, look at this, the attention to detail, every blade of grass. This guy was insane for doing this. But you know, that's what it is. It's just like any other artist that goes out there and, you know, tries to throw as much detail as he possibly can into his craft. Okay. So here we have another Neil Adams picture, right? For this cover here. This is another, God, it's just insane. I love it. I love how they do this ink wash, they do this smoke here or whatever. There's something to be said about the way they used to ink, using, you know, the brushes and all these other tools and everything that, you know, we don't do nowadays. Everybody's gotten to a place where they have to, you know, try to do a perfect reproduction of whatever the penciler did. So like inkers aren't even really inkers anymore. They are literally now just tracers. And, you know, you're not bringing anything new to the table. If you pair up an inker with an artist, you're getting what that penciler gave you. You're not getting like a combination of the two. And sometimes the combination works really well. So this is Jim Starlin. I am a big fan of Jim Starlin. I was going to review a Batman comic, which I'm going to do in the future, because it was one of my first Batman comics, and that was my introduction to Jim Starlin, and I thought that it was amazing artwork, and I was thoroughly into it. All of this is just gorgeous to look at, right? Like all of it. Every panel here is just something awesome. And you know, I'm up there in years now, and I will never ever be this good. And it's kind of a sad revelation to have or whatever, but it's what it is. Now we are getting to John Buscema, okay? And I am going to say right now, John Buscema was the house style of Marvel for a very long time. Ever since he came about, pretty much every book that you would get from Marvel looked like it was John Buscema. I did not appreciate his artwork because I was tired of seeing it. Like, it's what everything looked like. I remember, you know, when I would see his Spider-Man or his Iron Man or something like that, that was not the ones that I was into. You know, but now when I see this stuff with Conan, look at that. That Red Sonja there is just one of the best you're ever going to see. All of this is absolutely insanely gorgeous. Okay, and, you know, it just gets better and better as I go through this book. Like, I remember reading this, like, look at this. Come on, this double page spread here is just, that is gorgeous. With the ink wash, just the way that it was inked, the motion, everything that's with this is amazing. And, you know, you didn't get many of these double page spreads like this. It almost looks like they just blew this up from a panel to take 2, you know, pages or whatever. Now look at this, right? So this is John Buscema and Alfredo Alcala. Look at the inking on this. This is fucking insane. Look at what we were just looking at with John Buscema, okay? And then look at this. Same artist, right? Different inker. Look at what we're getting here. That is disgusting, okay? And this is what I was talking about. If you do this nowadays, you're not getting the blending of 2 different styles. You're getting somebody who's going to be like faithful to the pencils to a point where you're not going to get anything different. And, you know, not to mention, I think that today's comics are mostly about the computer coloring. That's where 98% of the artwork is. And then anyone who's penciling is basically just putting some lines there so that the colorist knows where to put some color. So it's really just the colorist now is the artist on any comic, and yet somehow their name isn't #1 on the thing. But anyway, look at this. Look at this snake. Look at All of this is just amazing here. I love it. This is, look at that. That's just awesome artwork. All of this is insanely awesome. I wish I could, I don't know, do black and white like this. Like I've tried, and you know, when I'm doing it in pencil, yes, I can kind of come close to that type of thing. But inking, I don't know. I was never able to get so many tones in inking. I would have to do it more as like an ink wash type thing. This is fucking amazing right here. Like this whole motion here is just gorgeous to look at. This is just yeah. So that was my wife. She tends to interrupt any of my videos whenever I'm filming. But yeah, so I just wanted to show this off. I have more of this. I think it's just John Buscema for the rest of this series in this, as you can see. And the artwork does not slack off. It just gets better and better. And I have another issue. Now this was one, so this is another wild one. When I was a kid, I told you again, you know, wide variety of books. And I remember getting a Conan book, and it was this one. And it's where like these people from the future are like digging in a cave and kind of going back and like, you know, somehow their story's relating to the story from back in the day with Conan. And I hated it. It was not a thing that I enjoyed at all. But I remember having that book because I remember when I had to read it again in this, I was just like, ah, fuck this one again. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching this. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more videos like this, again, hit subscribe. Thank you guys. Until next time.